Guys, I promise this is going to be my last video about this topic. But I have to do a video on this ridiculous fact check from Snopes because, quite honestly, this fact check is so bad that I'm not sure how this should even be legally allowed, right? This fact check is so bad that they should actually just pull down this page, okay? Take it down. Because this right here is the most pathetic excuse of a fact check that I've ever seen from the left. And trust me, I've seen some pathetic fact checks, but this right here takes the absolute cake. And it just proves that these so-called fact checkers, particularly the left-wing fact checkers, are really narrative checkers. They don't care about the facts. What they really care about is the narrative, right? And nothing demonstrates this more than this ridiculous fact check from Snopes, which, quite honestly, again, this page should be taken down, okay? This is how bad this is. So they're trying to fact check the claim that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez exaggerated the danger she was in during the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot, and that she, quote, wasn't even in the Capitol building when the rioting occurred. Okay, this is the claim they're trying to fact check here, right? So they rate this claim mostly false, and this is the breakdown of the claim. What's true? Ocasio-Cortez wasn't in the main Capitol building where the House and Senate chambers are located. Okay, so that part of it is true. That's what you're acknowledging, right? What was in the claim, which is that she wasn't even in the Capitol building when the rioting occurred. So how is this getting mostly false? If a main part of the claim, which is that she wasn't even in the Capitol building, is true. And they're admitting that it's true. Now, what's even more strange, in my opinion, and ridiculous as well, is that what they rate as false is that when the attack on the Capitol began, Ocasio-Cortez was in her congressional office, which is located in a network of office buildings immediately surrounding the Capitol, and her office building was one of the two buildings that were evacuated. Okay, so this is strange because, again, guys, I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, but and somebody let me know, because I could be reading this wrong. But they're saying that this is false. However, in this same article, they detail AOC's experience about what happened. And this is what it says. Around the time the clashes at the Capitol started, Ocasio-Cortez said she was at her desk scrolling through lunch options when she heard a loud, violent banging on her office doors. She ran over to her legislative director, Gerardo Banela Chavez, whom she calls G, who told her, hide, run, and hide. She hid in the bathroom of her office and realized that the person who was banging on the door had gotten inside and was yelling, "Where is she?" Ocasio-Cortez said she didn't know it while she was hiding, but the person calling that out was actually a Capitol police officer. In the moment while she was hiding in her bathroom and the door started to open on her, Ocasio-Cortez said she thought she was going to die. This was the moment where I thought everything was over. Ocasio-Cortez went on to describe the ensuing chaos as she and Banela Chavez tried to find a place to hide after the officer told them to evacuate without directing them to a specific evacuation destination. Okay, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's office was evacuated. This is what they're saying in the article, all right? Unless I'm reading this wrong. So, and her office building is in the Cannon building, right? That's on her website. That's where her office is located. It's public information. While she and Banela Chavez ran up and down the stairways and wandered hallways, she said they could hear rioters getting louder and louder trying to break in and felt that at any moment the attackers might breach the building. Ocasio-Cortez said she finally found U.S. Representative Katie Porter, a Democrat from California, and ended up sheltering in place in her office. Wait. So this same article, this fact-checking article, they say that when the attack on the Capitol began, Ocasio-Cortez was in her congressional office. Did we not just read that in this same article, that she was at her desk, okay, which is located in a network of office buildings immediately surrounding the Capitol? That also is true, right? And her office building was one of the 2 buildings that were evacuated. Did they not say that her building was evacuated and finding Katie Porter and going to her office? Okay, which is in another building. Again, public knowledge, public information. So how is this false? How do you rate this mostly false? Okay, it's one thing if you're trying to fact check whether or not the claims were exaggerated. But see, they can't even fact check that because that's entirely subjective. That's entirely subjective. They know that it's subjective. So what they're trying to do is that instead of actually doing an honest fact check, which they really can't do, they wrote a whole narrative piece to try to defend AOC and smear people on the right, saying that they're bullying AOC and that, you know, Candace Owens is a conspiracy theorist and all this other stuff that they have in this article. And this is solely what it's about. This is how the Democrats play the game. And again, guys, this is the problem with fact checkers. This article right here from Snopes, this pathetic excuse for a fact check from Snopes is exactly the issue that we have right now in how disinformation and misinformation actually occurs. The left claims to be so concerned about disinformation and misinformation until they start to put out their own form of disinformation and misinformation. Right? Primarily through the lens of fact checking. Right? When their fact checkers are actually really narrative checkers. That whole thing was not about checking any facts. They hid that under the guise of we're checking facts. But instead, it was solely there to push a narrative. That's all it was about. And what's also funny is that the purpose of this piece was to try to go after other journalistic outlets like the Daily Wire and Red State that had tried to expose some discrepancies in AOC's story. But yet, when you try to go after them, you fail to even get your own facts straight, right? Your summary of the facts doesn't even align with the details that you presented. It doesn't even line up. I don't understand how Snopes can call themselves a publisher. Again, how can you fact check the Daily Wire and say the Daily Wire is wrong and then you turn around and you're fact checking you wrong? I mean, you just completely off base. I mean, it's not even close. And this is why I'm glad that Candace Owens is suing these fact checkers. Because, I mean, that's ridiculous, guys. And this is a big deal, guys. The reason why I'm doing this video is because we live in a world where companies like Facebook are using fact checkers like Snopes, these left-wing fact checkers, to try to fact check and to control information. Okay? And these left-wing fact checkers are writing stuff like this. You know, straight up just butchering a fact check. Okay, I mean, imagine if Facebook would use Snopes, right? They'll fact check. If you go on Facebook and you write that, you know, AOC exaggerated her claims, right? Or you felt that she exaggerated her claims, which is entirely an opinion. It's entirely subjective, right? In terms of how you feel. You have the right to your opinion, right? I particularly feel that AOC, yes, she was in danger. You know, yes, she probably felt that her life was in danger. Multiple people have confirmed that she was shaken up by the incident. But if you feel another way about it, if you feel that she's exaggerating, you also entitled to that opinion. So if you was to write that on Facebook, if they was to use Snopes the same way I think they was using PolitiFact with Candace Owens' situation, they might mark your post as mostly false. Mostly false based off of overall rating that they use. And the details of why they gave a rating is nothing but hogwash. Where they said that everything in that claim is actually true. She wasn't in the Capitol building. She was evacuated to a different office. What about the claim is false? I don't understand. You know, and again, guys, this is the type of stuff that we do have to call this out. Because this is a part of how the left-wing media pushes their own form of misinformation. Right? This is how they try to control the narrative. They want to have a monopoly on facts. We're the only people that can verify facts. And that's the danger of this, guys. These type of articles, these type of fact checks, that's the danger of them trying to have a monopoly on facts. because they've started making up their own facts, guys. They've started using their narratives and pushing their narratives as facts when it's not even a fact. And in this particular case, saying something that is a fact is not a fact, right? I mean, I think that's even more dangerous, right, from these fact checkers. You know, when you have something that's clearly proven, right, and something that they even put in their own article and they detailed in their own article and explanation, and they mark that as false. How does that work? Obviously, there's some type of agenda behind this. So, you know, again, guys, you know, I feel like I'm done with this situation. Hopefully it dies down. It probably won't. AOC will find another way to get people riled up about this again. But just seeing this type of fact check, I had to make a video about it because it's peak stupidity and ignorance from left-wing media outlets like Snopes that, again, my God, I mean, you know, whoever wrote this article, I mean, they need to pull her in the office and talk to her about her integrity in journalism. I mean, seriously. I mean, really. I don't understand how you have an editor that allows you to even publish something like this. This garbage. It's ridiculous. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.